Good evening, distinguished guests, faculty members, industry professionals, and students. It's a great honor to welcome you all to this special occasion as part of the 40th anniversary celebrations of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at the University of Moratuwa. We are excited to host a series of events this year to mark this significant milestone. Today, for the very first time, we come together for a groundbreaking event that will set the stage for future innovations and collaborations in the world of technology.
It is with great pleasure that I welcome you all to the Applied Data Science and Artificial Intelligence Summit 2025. Throughout today's summit, we will embark on an exciting journey into the world of artificial intelligence. Let us dive into the future of technology together. To officially commence today's summit, may I now invite a key pillar of strength and guidance in our departments and today's event. Senior Lecturer and Program Chair of ADScAI Summit 2025, Dr. Tanuja Ambegoda, to deliver the welcome address.
Good afternoon, everyone. Deputy Vice Chancellor, Dean, Faculty of Engineering, Deans of Business Faculty, colleagues, academic staff members, students, industry professionals. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to the Data Science and AI Summit 2025, or ADScAI 2025. This is one of the key events, a key milestone in our celebrations. This is one of the key milestones in our 40th year anniversary celebrations of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, University of Moratuwa. So it's one of the series of events that will take place throughout the year. Today, we stand at the intersection of an interesting intersection where the academic insights and real-world innovation meet. Also where the curiosity of the students, the rigor of research, and the drive of industry all meet under one roof. This summit, ADScAI Summit, came out of a very simple but powerful idea. It's that Sri Lanka's academic and industrial communities deserve a strong and a sustainable platform to come together, exchange ideas, showcase talent, and shape the future of data science and AI. So today we started the day in the morning with a couple of very successful workshops from Iron One and Hello Milo. I had the opportunity to speak to the participants, and they were extremely happy with what they learned, how it was carried out. And then we had the very successful poster presentation session on the other side of this same building with 58 posters being presented. The excitement was very rewarding for us to even be present, right? Everyone buzzing with excitement, discussions going on. So despite launching the submission just 2 weeks before the deadline, the feedback we got from the authors was quite remarkable. This reminds us the energy and the enthusiasm we have in this community. And also, this reaffirms why we need to keep going, this momentum of the spirit of this community. So this year's theme, AI in the workforce, opportunities, challenges, and ethical considerations. This is a very timely topic because now AI is already transforming the way we work, study, and live. So the panel discussion that will follow immediately promises a thought-provoking session from voices from the leading industry personnel we are here today, that we have today as the panel members. And I invite you to be engaging and question the panelists and to reflect on what will be discussed in the panel. So alongside the panel discussion, we will have also the opportunity to celebrate the outstanding contributions of students and researchers through our poster session awards. And that would reinforcement our commitment to encourage excellence and early engagement of research in this area. To our organizing team, you have done a fantastic job in a very short period of time. So congratulations. And to our guests, I thank you for being here today. Your presence actually contributes to the collaborative spirit that we would like to foster in this domain. So with that, let me once again welcome you to the ADScAI Summit, the main event, which we hope to have as an annual event, possibly having as a full conference paper acceptance venue as well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that inspiring start to the session. We now have the pleasure of hearing from members of the university leadership whose support and vision continue to guide the university's progress in education and innovation. First, we would like to invite the Deputy Vice-Chancellor of the University of Moratuwa, Professor D.P. Chandrasekhara, to address the gathering.
Thank you very much, Dean, Faculty of Engineering, Dean, Faculty of Business, the staff members from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, the distinguished guests and the invitees, but more importantly, the students who had a major role in this symposium. I'm very happy to be here because about 1.5 months before we had this Computer Science and Engineering, the Department of Computer Science and Engineering started the events connected with their 40 years of existence here with a major event, and they, at the meeting they explained the different types of events will continue throughout the year. And I think I understand that this is one such event. And I'm also happy that you are doing this ADScAI symposium, because AI has become a buzzword and people use it in different ways. Probably their connotations or the understandings also differ. So in that context, I think the department has organized this symposium and also opening it up to the students from other state sector and private sector universities. I think which is remarkable because you allow the interaction and connections between different students who are almost in the same age group. I think that would be an important step. I'm not going to talk long. I would also like to convey the kind regards from Vice Chancellor, who is unable to be present at this moment of time because of a commitment at Colombo. So I also just heard that you are going to continue this activity even after 40 years celebration, which I think is a good initiative, and probably I think the student numbers will grow. We have to start small at the beginning, and in years to come, this would become a major activity of the department as well as of the university. And on behalf of University of Moratuwa, we would extend all our cooperation and assistance to activities of this nature, because these are connected, or one can say it's extracurricular, but also connected to the co-curricular work, and also will continue or influence your career paths, your further education, your activities in future. So it's connected to your education as well as to the career development. So I think in that sense, this activity is very important, and I would like to appreciate the hard work done by the organizers of the department, the students and the staff who have made the sacrifices and commitments. And I think they had this event from the morning, and this panel discussion I think we'll be having after this. So on behalf of University of Moratuwa, I wish all the very best for this event and congratulate the organizers and the department for organizing it. So hope that you will have a very productive day and in the evening you will have interesting sessions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor, for your valuable thoughts and your kind words of encouragement. Next, we warmly welcome the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, Professor Jagat Manatunga, to share a few words with us.
Good evening, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Dean, Faculty of Business, invitees, the panel members, my dear colleagues at the Computer Science and Engineering, and my dear students. It is truly a pleasure and an honor for me to be here this evening at the Applied Data Science and Artificial Intelligence Summit 2025. I heard Tanuja refer to this as ADScAI. All right, okay. I should first extend my heartfelt congratulations and the gratitude to the organizing committee, especially the young as well as not so young academic staff at the Computer Science and Engineering Department for organizing this impactful, insightful summit. I think, and also for bringing the sharpest minds in this field, both the academia as well as the industry. Today's theme, AI in the workforce, opportunities, challenges, and ethical considerations. This topic couldn't be more timely. To my understanding, we are defining a juncture in human history. AI is no longer a distance vision. It is embedded in the very fabric of our daily lives. The way we work, communicate, make choices, make decisions, and even in the way we dream of the future. This transformation is not just technical, it has to be deeply human. As engineers, researchers, developers, and of course, the future leaders, we must ask somewhat difficult questions. How do we ensure AI augments human potential instead of replacing it? Then, how do we create equitable systems that don't leave behind those less digitally empowered? Lastly, most critically, how do we embed ethics and responsibility into the core of AI development? These are not just questions. They are engineering challenges. They demand innovation, empathy, and foresight. It is encouraging to see this explores technological advances, excellence, but also spotlights the ethical frameworks and societal impacts that underlie AI. Events like this reminds us repeatedly that engineering is not only about solving problems, it's about solving the right problem for the benefit of the society, the humanity, the mankind. I would also like to take a moment to appreciate the impressive lineup of panelists. Dr. Malit Jayasinghe, Mr. Johan Valikala, Ms. Irani Srikanta, and Dr. Sumani Rajidure. I don't know whether I have missed any names. This was the list that I found in the email that I got. I think you all bring a wealth of industry experience, and we appreciate that you are ready to share your experiences with our young ones who are here. Your insights today will undoubtedly help our students as well as the researchers and everybody who are here who would reimagine the future workforce shaped by AI. To our students and young researchers who have presented their work today, who are in the audience, you are not just passive observers of this revolution, you are part of it. And you are the one who will build it further in the future. The posters that you presented, the workshops that you attended today, and the discussion that you will engage in a moment, they are seeds of innovation. Nurture them with curiosity and guide them with responsibility. Let me reiterate the faculty's commitment and the university's commitment in putting all this together, cross disciplines, innovation, and to make responsible engineers who will serve the mankind. AI and data science would lead these developments. We stand together with you, ready to support initiatives that merge technical brilliance with social consciousness, the kind that the ADScAI Summit represents. Thank you once again for your kind invitation, Department of Computer Science and Engineering. I take pride in being with you. I think I will definitely be with you for the forthcoming events that you celebrate the 40th anniversary. I wish your continued efforts a meaningful impact in the years to come, and let us collaborate. Students, you can question and imagine. Imaginations have no boundaries, and think of a better world every day. Your future will be brighter than what we have experienced with your contribution, meaningful contribution, and your impactful contribution. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Professor, for your kind words and continued support. We now move on to one of the key highlights of the ADScAI Summit 2025, the expert-led panel discussion. This session brings together leading voices in AI and data science to explore a topic that lies at the heart of our evolving professional landscape: artificial intelligence in the workforce, opportunities, challenges, and ethical considerations.
The discussion will be moderated by a second-year undergraduate of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Mr. Sai Sivendra, who will guide us through what promises to be an insightful and engaging session. Sai Sivendra, the stage is yours.
Thank you, MCs. A decade ago, we as humans were learning to communicate with machines in their own language, writing code and understanding syntax. But today, we are in an era where we can communicate and machines can understand us in our very own language, be it natural language processing, voice assistants, or AI-powered chatbots. Technology has evolved to meet us where we are. This transformation is not just changing how we interact with machines, but also redefine how we work as individuals. With AI becoming an integral part of the workforce, we must first explore the opportunities it presents, the challenges it brings, and the ethical considerations that we cannot ignore. To help us navigate this conversation today, I have with me a distinguished panel of 4 experts who bring deep insight into AI's role in today's industry. First up, we have Dr. Malit Jayasinghe, the Vice President of Research and AI at WSO2, who leads all AI-related initiatives at the organization. He's a frequent speaker at global tech conferences and collaborates closely with university students, enabling significant contributions in the field of computer science. Next, we have Mr. Johan Välikölä, the Vice President of Research at CodeGen International. He leads AI research and innovation at CodeGen with over a decade of experience delivering AI-powered solutions across domains such as intelligent systems and cybersecurity. We also have Ms. Irani Srikanta, Director of Software Engineering at IFS. She leads AI-focused engineering initiatives at IFS, bringing over 2 decades of experience in software development, agile leadership, digital transformation, while adopting AI technologies to solve real-world business challenges. We also have Dr. Sumani Rajadurai, Principal Machine Learning Engineer at Octave and Vice President at John Keells Holdings PLC. With more than 15 years of experience in the industry, he has designed solutions for telecommunication, finance, marketing, and advertisements. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a big round of applause for our panelists as we welcome them on stage? Any audience? Yes. Ever since the boom of AI, the booming question has been whether AI will replace us humans in the workplace. Why don't we start our discussion today by not getting to whether AI will replace us or not, but the impact AI had so far as you as an individual and your organization as a whole. Why don't we start by sharing your experiences so far? Yes, sir.
So so the answer to the question is actually no, right? AI won't replace humans. So if you take a look at WSO2, let me give you the WSO2 context. So we have like developers writing code, and then we have internal, people doing various activities. So in each of these areas, what we try to do is to see how you can improve the productivity. That's the main objective, right? So if you go to the developers, we have developers' productivity being improved by using various co-pilots. Then on the other side, we have our customers, right, which we want to improve their productivity. So that is where we introduce our co-pilots and then improve their productivity, right? So, and internally also we have a goal to see how we can improve our internal operations. Now what that means is marketing to sales, HR, all of these areas across the board, we are using AI. So across the board, what we are seeing is a huge improvement in the productivity. It's not a replacement. This AI coexisting with humans and moving forward, and there's no replacement as such.
All right, thank you, Dr. Malik. Ms. Irani?
Testing, all right. So first of all, thank you for having me here. It's an honor to me to sit with these great panelists here. So the impact of AI to me, if I start with the impact to me, I'm here leading the AI initiative because this AI boom happened. Specifically because the GPT 3.5 was released in 2022 November, right? Because at that point of time, I had an opening to join a team to lead AI services. So I was thinking whether to, take a shift or not. And then GPT 3.5 came and everyone started talking about LLMs. So I took that as my sign and I'm here. So that's one impact of AI. But of course, as a leader leading the team, there's one thing I always think is that if I spend too much time doing certain thing, if I do same thing repetitively, then that means I'm being ineffective in what I do. So that's one of the mindsets I try to practice. Because with AI being creative, we have to be productive, right? So that's from my end as an individual and as a company, of course, at IFS, we think of AI in, let's say, two streams. We want to bring AI capabilities into the product that we build in and that we sell to our customers. And the other aspect is whether we are utilizing AI in our day-to-day operations, as Dr. Malik said as well, right? Because in terms of IFS, it's like 7,000 employees. If we can be productive, like just saving half an hour every day, we are saving 3,000, or like we are doing extra 3,500 of hours of work every day. That's a massive step towards go to market faster, right? So we think of those two streams, and we have several initiatives bringing AI or embedding AI into our product, as well as embedding AI into how we work.
Right, Miss. Thank you very much, Miss. Mr. Johan.
Thank you again. I also wish to thank you for having me here. It's a great honor. Right, so when AI came into being in this sense of the LLMs, it wasn't a surprise for us because we, at Cogent, we've been working on the Distilbert models, and then also GPT-2, we were working on that one as well. So when the GPT-3 came, we are kind of knowing this kind of thing will happen. But it did kind of profoundly impact how we work. So when you come to kind of, although today, you guys, most of you are looking at maybe jobs where you start at an entry level. When you come to the management level, like us, you spend most of our time in either doing PowerPoint or Word, or sometimes in just meetings looking at PowerPoint, right? So one of the things that we can do today is do all of this documentation very fast. So I use AI a lot now to produce documentation, analyze documentation. So if I have a contract negotiation going on with a customer, I can, not without even asking my legal team, I can use AI to understand what are the key points in this legal document. So those are things that I can today use AI in my kind of corporate capacity. But also personally, there were certain projects that I was kind of too lazy to do. And AI kind of helped me to get them done. So I had these ideas that I wanted to always get done, like doing some crazy algorithm on the stock market or doing some small app. So, but I was too lazy to just go and do it myself. And now I have the ability to just get the AI to do it for me. So that is really how the AI impacted my life personally.
All right, thank you, Mr. Johan. Moving Dr. Sumani.
Hi. First of all, thank you very much for having me here. It's a great honor. So to answer your question, first of all, the very first question is, will AI replace human? I think it's not. It will not. But I mean, AI will disturb our life, maybe positively or negatively. That is what I think. So if you take some jobs, those jobs will get disrupted more by this AI technology, and there are some jobs those will get benefited a lot. Okay, so if we take even copywriters or maybe creative directors, so those type of jobs will definitely will get disrupted, and those professionals will go through some challenges. But at the same time, AI also will create totally a whole new set of jobs. Okay, for an example, prompt engineers, or maybe AI alignment managers, and then all these compliance specialists. Those type of jobs will created sooner or later. So those I think has a positive impact. Yeah. And when it comes to my own, maybe how the AI impacted me, I would say, I mean, even I heavily use ChatGPT, so of course, it boosted our productivity. I mean, that's a very big benefit that I see. Not just ChatGPT for any sort of things, but even GitHub Copilot, for an example. I heavily program, so even these coding assistants, ChatGPT, and then Microsoft Copilot type of things that really help us to boost our productivity, so we can be more productive, and then we can create more value within a shorter period of time.
All right, thank you, Dr. Sumini. Now, if you had noticed, all the 4 speakers, one key word that all of them used was productivity. Now, in terms of productivity, now, how can a non-technical person, how important is AI literacy these days? Now, most of you all, I think all the companies have non-technical people. Now, how would you say how much of an impact that the AI literacy will have? And will it be essential part of skill that they should possess when you enter the job market these days? What do you think about that?
Definitely. One aspect that I can share is like now, with the large language models and the GPTs or the chatbots, and with where we are heading, right? If we are to make use of AI tools, one thing we all, including the non-technical people, have to be good at is prompt engineering. I think we have to be better at explaining ourselves to the model to get our work done. So whether we are technical or non-technical, when it comes to certain domains, I think that will be a key skill that we all have to equally develop.
All right, Ms. Arani, anyone else in that?
Yeah, so I would differ with Terani a little bit. So let's say AI is going to get to a stage where it's going to be like you using your phone, right? So today my parents who are close to their 80s, they don't have any problem using a smartphone. So AI will get to that stage where anyone non-technical will be able to talk to a computer and get what they want to get done. Now the more important question is, for you who are studying IT, right, is how do we get to there? How do you go to there from where you are today? And what are the systems that you can build that will help people to interact with it like they are interacting with a person? So that is what you need to think. So now you might have studied user experience or other ways of interacting with computers. All of these traditional ways of interaction are going to change, right? So then how do you build those machines in a way to understand and behave like humans do? So that is the challenge that you need to address and kind of think about.
Indeed, sir. That's where we would, I think, ideally be heading, where it becomes part and parcel of your life, where AI would integrate, which would be the ideal workaround. Now, moving on to integrating AI into existing solutions. Now, already doing something at scratch and using AI is quite straightforward, where we can use and think and architect in a way where we know what we are heading on. But the issue is we already have certain systems in place. How do you all integrate AI into the systems you all have currently? And what are the obstacles that you've come across?
Yeah, so let me ask you questions from the audience. So how many of you have actually built, trained the model? A lot of people have, right? So what's happening now really is, at least for large part of use cases, of course you still have to train models and do all of that case, right? With the, with the emergence of these large language models or the pre-trained models, now you can build things by integrating systems as opposed to, training models. There's a case where you will still train models as well. So AI is now becoming more of a compound, you call it the compound AI systems. So there is 2 aspects of this. So you were talking about, one is the integrating with the bigger thing. So there are 2 steps here. So first is the building the AI piece. It can be your agent or whatever, but the agent itself is useless in that sense, right? Because it has to be then integrated with your bigger application. So the first step is, building the agent. You can call it coding, but if you think about deeply, that coding itself is an integration problem, because you'll have to connect the tools, authenticate, authorize, right? All of these stuff. And then you have to integrate with the bigger system. Then you will get into, whole kind of problems. So that is where the abstractions are coming in. So in computer science, which is a key thing about in computer science is the abstractions, right? So once you have the right set of abstractions, developers do not have to do them themselves. So if I'm building something, so you might have heard the term AI gateway, which is a very common thing that is coming up these days. You want to monetize your AI traffic, you want to, do all of those stuff, you want to monitor what is my token usage, how do you put guardrails. Now, and as a developer, I can get things done working locally, but when I try to take it to production, that is where the real integration, and then we need these abstractions, these capabilities, which will complete this integration story. So that is how I see it. The integration is a core part of AI now, because AI itself is an integration problem, and we all have to work on and get those abstractions right.
Right. So any specific approach that you mentioned, approach that you all took in order to avoid these roadblocks, or anything in specific?
No. So the biggest problem right now is, so back in the days, people spend a lot of time training models, right? They can't even build a prototype. I mean, you have to have a certain level of accuracy to build a prototype, right? So the integration didn't happen for years. So now you have a model at hand, like you can build a RAG or something, right? And then taking to production is the biggest challenge. So the approach that you'll have to use is use the right tools, right? Use the AI gateway, and then we have this when you are using agents, agent has to talk to third-party systems. How do you authenticate and authorize? How do you give agent identities? So all of these things is now a critical aspects of software engineering. These are in fact not AI problems anymore. They are not AI specific problems, right? Sure. There's AI part also when it comes to accuracy. You still have to have pipelines developed for evaluating this, but there are these software engineering problems where you will have to have these set of abstractions built on top of what you already have. Then you can take your AI, piece to production fast.
True, sir. Other panelists, any?
Yeah. So to answer your question, I mean, first of all, I agree with Dr. Malik. There's a big hurdle of software engineering problem when we try to integrate AI into our day-to-day, the corporate working environment. So that is where these days, or maybe recently, you might have heard of AI ops or ML ops type of professionals. Those type of teams are getting built in companies. They take care of the scalability part of these AI systems and security part of the thing, and then all sort of this automation and operationalization. So that is one of the biggest challenge, I would say, the prototype to productionalization. Okay, that is one of the biggest challenge. And I also see another challenge in corporates, at least the teams and companies that I work with, is change management. Okay, so when you introduce an AI system, often the end users will be business teams or some non-technical teams as well. It can be maybe finance department or HR department or maybe customer care center. So when we introduce an AI solution for them, often we have to change their workflow. So that change management is something it's require more effort than I estimated. And also, how can we convince them to trust the AI system? Okay, so that also another biggest challenge that I have faced in my career. So let's assume if we even build a small model or maybe prediction model for an example, and then if we pass that model, AI model, to a finance team, how can we convince them to trust on the model and then rely on the model and start using the model? So that also kind of a non-technical challenge, I would say when we try to integrate AI into the systems. Thanks.
Right, doctor.
Yeah, so at Cogen, there are 4 ways that we are positioning AI in our company. One is we are augmenting our existing platform with AI, so it's the co-pilot kind of approach. And then we are creating a totally new system using kind of an AI-first approach. So it's like a completely agentic system. So at Cogen, we are into travel domain, so we are creating a more agentic system for the travel domain. And then the next one is we are creating tools and improving productivity within the organization. So instead of, so one of the problems a lot of people had when OpenAI came is you can generate code, but is my code safe? Can I send my code to OpenAI? So what we did is we hosted our own models based on some of the Llama models and the open models. And then we created something called Lumos, which is kind of like a coder, co-pilot for coding. And we put all our code, which is about 30 million, 40 million lines of code, into that model. And today, our software developers are using that model to enhance their coding. So when they say someone new is onboarded into CodeGen, when they don't know where to find a particular piece of code or how to solve it, they can ask that particular model and it will tell you. And it doesn't send the code out into the general public models. So like that, we are augmenting our existing processes for project management. Instead of using Jira, we just tell the bot what we are doing today, and it will create all the reports for you. So there are various things that we are doing. And then the fourth part is we are giving some of these things as consultancy out to other companies. And other companies who want to change the way that they're working or use some of the products that we are using. So we are in that 4 ways that we are changing, kind of going into the market. And there are certain challenges that we are facing as well. One is basically what was spoken about, adaptability, and then the infrastructure that is not up there to some of the production needs. All of them are there. And I think those things we need to solve together, and other companies are doing it, so we don't need to solve every problem ourselves. But we are certainly getting there.
All right.
I can add a few things there. I mean, as all the panelists said, when it comes to building or integrating AI into systems, integrating AI into existing systems, yes, it is challenging. If we are building, AI-first systems, then we start from the design itself, and then we know how to build or how to add other components as well now. As an example, like at IFS, we are building the agentic platform for our enterprise customers. So it is ongoing, right? So since we know that it is ongoing, whatever the components or whatever the skills or the tasks that we bring in to our AI APIs, we keep that in mind so that the development of those skills happen in a way so that it can become sort of a domain agent when it goes into the agentic framework. So that is easy when we are building new things. The challenge is always when we integrating AI into existing systems. So from product-wise, I can give an example like when we introduce our AI services through a shared service platform, we could make it available only to a set of a customer segment who runs on managed cloud services only. So we have to have that phases introduced in, okay, first this customer segment, and then we are working on so that we can bring other customers also to make use of AI capabilities. So agree with this gentleman. I mean, there's a change management, a big change management portion, especially when it comes to integrating it to current systems.
All right, thank you, panelists. I think adaptability is one key aspect that everyone has to face, and how we mentioned about change and trust, two things that even we as human find it difficult to go around with other humans, and of course having that trust in machines is not going to be easy, and that's where we are getting into in the future as well. Now, speaking about trust, when you do integrate AI into a project, how do you analyze and measure the success of the AI project? So what are the tools or techniques that you all use in order to measure the success of AI integration?
Yeah, so evaluating AI systems is a hard problem, because now if you take normal software engineering, you code, then you write what? Unit tests.
Yes.
Right. Now in AI's case, you have various metrics, not just the accuracy. You have bias, you have, whether it's repeatable, hallucinations, all of these would have to be evaluated, which will start, and then there is two types of evaluation, actually. Actually, multiple different. One is the evaluation that you do when you do the coding first time. Like it's a developer evaluating thing. But then there is, once it's in production, also you can do certain evaluations, right? So if I am to just to give you an example of, let's take evaluating an agent, right? So evaluating an agent involves, so what is an agent? Agent is some autonomous entity that can, reason and act with the help of a large language models, right? So it will call various different tools. Now, so you will have to have some kind of a scenario, which could be the data set. Now, if you have to evaluate this, you'll have to evaluate multiple things. First of all, you have to have a big enough data set. You have to evaluate the individual interactions and then see whether the input and output, you are getting the expected output. Yeah, and then for that one, there are various different metrics. For example, evaluating RAGs, ragas metrics. There are new metrics that are coming up. You can't use the existing metrics that are there, which is becoming a very prominent area now. And then that is not enough, right? Then you have to evaluate, is the agent taking the right path? And then there are multiple different paths, right? And then also, is the final output correct? So there are like various things that you'll need to do. And then also once it's in production and then, now it's working and your customers are, using it, then you'll have to get their feedback, right? Because one thing with so in ML ops case, there are, cases where you can implement the full training pipeline, right? You can train the models, but in LLM ops, it is not sometimes possible. In certain cases, it can, because you can't automatically go and change a prompt. It's very hard, right? Because you'll have to do it in an experimental environment. So like that, there are various challenges. But again, the libraries and frameworks are coming up, which is a good thing. What that means is you don't have to do, because when we first started doing this AI stuff at WSO2, those libraries were not there. So we have written some of those stuff, but we learned, we built our own agent as well, based on the React. It was part of one of our programming languages called Ballerina. But now I think people are seeing these problems, and then there are patterns that are coming up, and then there are evaluation frameworks coming up. So it's actually going well, but evaluation is a key part.
Right, sir. Any other pen?
I can add there, like, as Dr. Malit said, when it comes to AI systems, they are non-deterministic. So that's a challenge, compared to testing a standard software. Testing AI systems is pretty challenging. So when it comes to evaluation systems, we have also developed an in-house, when it comes to the RAG system, we have developed a RAG evaluation framework, which we use at the development phase as well as along the way until we are ready to release the system to the production. So that's one way of doing it. Definitely we need to have more and more evaluation frameworks, that's one. And then the other thing is the explainability, I think, because it is about trusting the answers at the end, right? So we are making use of certain, SHAP libraries, etc., to give more meaning to our results, and then we sort of display it in a structured manner to the end users as well, so that we build more confidence in the end users when they see AI generated results. And we do differentiate in the application, and I think it is very, very important when it comes to AI generated output to be separated from the rest of the outputs in the application. And explainability AI plays a very critical role there as well.
Right, well.
Maybe I would like to share my thoughts. So at Octave, Octave is a AI and advanced analytics unit of John Gills Holdings. Since Octave is created as a AI arm for the group, from the beginning there was a question of evaluating the benefit of AI. Okay, so what we heavily adopted and heavily using is A/B testing. So when we develop not just these Gen AI solutions, but also even traditional or classic machine learning models, or maybe data science solutions or whatever thing, we have a strict and rigorous process of doing a A/B testing. We statistically select pilot a test group and control group, and then roll out the AI system to the test group, and then evaluate the the quantifiable impact. And then also we, at John Gills Group, we also quantify the impact in a monetary value as well. That is how we log the value and then proof the value of the AI systems. Yeah,
Right, sir.
Yeah, so two parts to your question. One is efficiency part. So efficiency evaluation is kind of not an AI problem, it's a way of, okay, what is your baseline and what is the new kind of thing that you can get from AI, and then you can derive your efficiency from that. So then the other part is, I think what we talked about is the correctness of the AI, whether what the AI is giving is correct or not. So for that we need these different frameworks and different new techniques of evaluating that. And I think the ultimate goal, so I got access to the Manas or whatever, this AI agent framework yesterday. I don't know whether you guys got it before that. I was able to just create a small app using that, and it kind of pretty much did okay job. So for me, the correctness is basically whether the app is working as I envisaged. So I didn't have to look at, it did all its evaluation and kind of browsing, looking at different UX stuff on its own. I didn't have to get involved. I could watch it nicely doing it, but it did all of that and then finally gave me the app. So that is what I want as a human being. But in between there are things that if you're an enterprise software house or you're developing something mission critical, there might be checks and balances and stuff that you need to put in to make sure that the AI is doing correct things.
Right, sir. And speaking of that, the more important aspect is how we are going to prevent data being breached and how we are going to implement security as well. Mr. Johan, you mentioned about using in-house AI models as well in your answer previously. How has that played out so far in terms of security using an in-house model? And in terms of performance, what's the difference? So is it a gain overall or?
The early days when we were using Llama 7 billion or 14 billion in place of OpenAI's GPT-3, the performance in terms of the accuracy of the model wasn't great. So of course, OpenAI would outperform us. But now I think with DeepSeek coming into the picture and the fine-tuned models of Quen and all of that, we are able to kind of get the same accuracy as the OpenAI model. So without spending a lot of money on OpenAI and the security risk associated with that, we can send that information to in-house model and get it to give the answers. So that is also a very big concern in the top of the heads of executives or of large enterprises. So we work with companies like Disney, for example. So they specifically ban using OpenAI. I know some other even software companies in Sri Lanka have banned people using OpenAI to sort of like augment their coding. So there is a huge risk and kind of a fear of this happening. So it is something that needs to be addressed, and I believe with the smaller models that are available now, people will have more localized private models that are running for them that will give the same accuracy performance as the larger hosted models.
Dr. Malik, you also mentioned that you all initially made your own models and then only moved on to libraries and whatnot. So in your point of view, how has it played out in terms of using in-house and cloud models? And are there any other steps that you take to ensure data privacy and security?
Yeah, so I agree with the comments made. So we also have the same situation now, even within the company. So what happens is developers, they find these models. Right now they want to build something. They say, okay, this is good, this is doing it. But we have to have an extensive, this is called the compliance process, which will take like quite a bit of time, right? Just to get the approval to use the model. Because like even, I mean, OpenAI, for example, if you go to their website, there are certain things that they say, we don't retain your data. If you retain it, it's only for this amount of time. We don't train using your data. So those are the aspects that we'll have to, be very careful. Now then, so there are customers who are okay with that. So in that case, those customers can use those models. But then you have the other case, because we have this, we have a product called Choreo. So Choreo has this thing called private data plane. We have a control plane which we host, but their data cannot move out from that, we call it the data plane, right? So what that means is you cannot have any API calls going out of that system. So this is where the small language models are coming in. So we are also doing some work there, and then I think we now have promising results with the small language models, which I encourage all of you to actually do research on, right? I mean, you might not be able to get the accuracy initially, but there are a lot of benefits like contribute to open source thing. And also the other case is when we do use these LLMs, we have to make, so what we do is we do a review, because when the software is designed, everything is done, we do an extensive review to see whether we are sending things that we don't need to send. Like PIIs and all that, of course, is not allowed, right? The personal identifiers. And you can put guardrails to avoid, right? But there are cases like when developers do this stuff, they do it in such a rush, like, because they want to release these things. So sometimes actually models do not need those information. Right, so for example, let's say you want to do something with your system data like CPU, memory and all that, right? The actual metric name is not needed, so you basically, take out a lot of stuff, right? And only send the ones that you need, and then on top of that you have the guardrails, which will make sure that, you're not sending the things that you are not supposed to send. So that is how actually we have to tackle these problems, right? So, but it will evolve as we go.
Right, sir. Is there any?
Yeah, when it comes to the enterprise space, like now, cost and performance both are very, very important for customers, because we sell our product and it should be affordable, and they should have an appeal together with the performance and the price tag, right? And then with DeepSeek, I mean, so if I take that as an example now, when the DeepSeek model was released, right, so it is cheaper, right? But then in the enterprise world, right, DeepSeek had roots from China, and that was not appealing to our North American customers. So there are these macro factors that also play when we try to incorporate certain models. So, and that's one thing. And then the other factor is like when we try to build this enterprise scale, now, as of now, we are using GPT models, but then we realize that we need to have it open so that we can offer more opportunities to customers, and then they have a say, because as Dr. Malit said, I mean, not all, I mean, we do not want always, we don't need to have the best model, right? What we need to have is the model that serves us the right level that we need. So if we have our architecture designed in a way so that we can give that option to the customers, okay, when it comes to these use cases, you know, use these models for these use cases, use these models instead. So if we can offer that to the customer, then as an enterprise solution, I think we become more dynamic as well as more appealing to the global customer base.
True, madam. Dr. Sumani, anything in that sense?
Yeah, so to preserve this data privacy and all from the AI model, so I first of all agree with Ms. Irani's comment that we don't need to always go for the best model, which is maybe hosted by a big player in the AI field like OpenAI or Gemini, Google or something. We have to first of all evaluate, and then there can be small models or maybe medium-sized models which are open sourced. If those is sufficient for our problems, then we can go for a in-house models. So in that way, we can also make sure that our data privacy is guaranteed. And the second point is the proper strict governance structure should be there in these corporates, where when we send data to AI models, there should be a proper lock, proper analysis, and then proper governance structure should be there to make sure that no PII data is revealed, or any other company related property related information is sent to the model or something.
Right, doctor. So making sure that guardrails are mentioned and keeping your data secure is something crucial when it comes to AI as well. Now, taking a step back from AI and moving into our students here. Now, for example, the CEO of Anthropic said, and I quote, "I think we will be there in 6 months where AI is writing 90% of the code." Now, given such a statement by a prominent figure in the AI industry, what sort of skills should students and even IT professions focus on today?
Yeah, so I start. Basically, now you are the TikTok generation, right? So you're used to getting things very fast, and I think rather than our generation opposing that, I think that should be your strength as well, right? So because if you ask me, maybe the advice that we are giving you today is don't get addicted to that. You just try to spend more time on focus on something and spend more time on it. I know this stuff that I'm telling my kids. So, but I think what is happening today is the world is changing rapidly, and it's exponentially changing rapidly. So the things that are happening around is very fast, and that should be your strength, where you can adapt to what is happening in the world very fast as well. So whatever technologies that are coming through, you should be able to grasp that, use it, and then if something else comes in the next day, you just move to the next one. So you can build on that one. Then of course there are some core things that you will need to have, not AI skills, but life skills, right? So if we forget these skills and just think that AI skills are going to help us in the life, then you can still live maybe in a kind of a meta universe in your couch. You might be able to live. But if you want to interact with people, you need life skills, because still most of the code or programs that are used by people. So there's interaction or touch points between the human being and what you're going to develop. So as long as that is there, you need to understand how human beings think. So that is important, that you understand the soft skills and how to interact and all of that. So that is one part of the development that you need to focus on. Yeah, I think if you can focus on those two and be adaptable to what is happening, you're in a good place.
All right, doctor. Any other panelists? Any?
Yeah, so I think the fundamentals haven't changed, right? So I think so all of these new technologies we'll have to learn, right? It's a continuous process, right? Whether it's a Copilot, GitHub Copilot, but having that, strong foundation in computer science is very important. That is my belief, because you still have to build distributed systems, you'll have to, connect them, you'll have to solve scalability problems, all of those. So those problems will continue to be there, and I think, and also in the AI aspects, I think we should focus on the core problems in AI, like especially as research institutes, right? Like Morotua, which is also something that we should work on. So from the soft skill side, I think it's the same thing. The leadership skills are very important. Communication skills will play a very critical role right these days, because there's a lot of graduates coming up, right? The universities have increased their, the batch sizes, and there's a heavy competition, right? So back in the days, it was not difficult to find internships. Now I think we get a lot of applications. So how do you stand out, like those skills, like how do you get there, and then how do you highlight? That is very important to have that profile built for yourself.
True, doctor.
And maybe I can add something there, like as Dr. Malik said, fundamentals haven't changed, and when we understand how the building blocks or how things are built, then we know how things evolve as well, because we are living in this, now this world is called Barney, B-A-N-I, brittle, anxious, non-linear, and incomprehensible, because it is too many things, too many informations, and sometimes we think, okay, this will work. It works sometimes, but there are often other factors that interrupts our success as well. So one soft skill definitely is the adaptability, because rather than thinking of, how challenging this is, so what can go wrong, I think our mindset should now be, how can we make this work instead? I mean, think more optimistically rather than, focus on the challenges. So that's one soft skill, the adaptability, and of course the communication skills. One very quick thing I would like to add here is, like, now, we often hear with AI, the routine things will be automated so that we can focus on more important things. So what are those important things, right? One example I can share is, because I was reflecting on that question, now previously, in our development cycles, we usually take, like, years into releasing things, right? But now we are releasing faster, and sometimes monthly or bi-weekly, and we are working towards releasable every day, right? So what does that mean is, right, compared to previous years, the interactions, so one example, interactions with our customer base happen not so often for people who are in R&D. But now, since we do rapid development, we often go into meetings directly with the customers. We are talking to their VPs, to those who will be using our application, right? So what is more important now, because when it comes to the development cycles goes faster, we can come up with POCs faster. So now the communication skills, right? Interacting with the customers then and there, understanding their problems and finding solutions, right? So those things have become much more important and much more prominent and much more frequent compared to how it happened in the development cycles previously, at least in my experience. So those would be the more important things now we have to involve in, right? So especially when it comes to these soft skills, adaptability, the communication skills, those tops actually really important. And of course, when it comes to the technical end of things, definitely a good foundation on the fundamentals. It really helps to understand where these things would evolve, where this era would evolve. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Ms. Erani. Dr. Sumani, anything in that line?
Yeah, I think other panelists have covered pretty much everything. If I wanted to add, I mean, your original question was, the AI is going to write 90% of the code, and then what should students do? So I would say, first of all, AI is inevitable. Okay, so we have to become, really good at using AI tools. So that is the very first thing that we have to do. So we might think, if when it comes to AI or Gen AI, only ChatGPT is the thing or something. But there are several AI tools out there, even including GitHub Copilot, to even creating a nice and fancy presentation, to UI UX design, to all sort of things. There are AI tools are coming up. So what we should do ourselves is, I mean, as a students, you all learn the state of the art and latest AI tools and become really good at it. And also, I mean, since these AI tools are helping us to develop things very super quickly and making us more productive, you guys can focus on building something on your own that would make you to as a standout in the job market. So that is what I would say. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, panelists. I think what was clearly mentioned, that fundamentals along with communication, adaptability is crucial given the scenario that we are facing and this AI industry that's moving on. Now, when speaking about communication itself, now AI has started communicating within itself, agentic AI, the new buzzword that's going around. And when it comes to systems like that, there are certain systems which do not require human interactions at all, and they work on their own. Now, in systems like that, a kind of ethical question right here: who is responsible if something goes wrong? Is it the developer, or is it the company that provided the model, or is it the AI itself? In such a scenario, how would you approach such a problem if there is a mistake? Who takes responsibility?
Yeah, so there was one scenario when I was in the States. A guy called his Tesla car to come to him, so we can do that in Tesla. So, and it knocked on someone else's car. And then now, because subsequently they were arguing about it, whose fault it was, and blah, blah, blah. But I think there were some lawsuits in the US as well, where they were trying to blame the Tesla, so the company, rather than the driver or the person who owned the car for the fault, because it's autopilot that did the incorrect navigation and knocked on the car. So I think still it's a gray area as to whose fault it is going to be, but we certainly need some legislation, some thinking, right from the government to the kind of policies. And there are certain industries where there are certain policies. For example, in the EU, there is something called the AI Pact, which we all need to sign up to if you are developing software for the EU now. And that kind of comes with things like you have to be ethical in developing your AI. You have to, for example, if you're using images for facial recognition, you can't use that for some certain things. You can use child images and stuff like that. So there are certain things that people are trying to do. And I think Europe is leading the way because they are very big on regulation anyway, and that's how they make money. So they are doing a lot of regulation and kind of thinking on that. But as Sri Lanka as well, we need to do a lot from the government side. How do we regulate? How do we bring in legislation that will take away the ambiguity between these kind of debates about whether the AI was at fault or was it the person using the AI. So I think it's still a gray area. That's something that we need to navigate together as a country, also as individuals.
Thank you, sir. Any others would like to add on to what Mr. Johan mentioned?
Yeah, I agree. So it's clearly a gray area. So there's no, yes, I mean, this is AI's fault, this is humans' fault, there's no answer. But so this is actually, there are multiple different cases. I mean, in certain cases, this is not a very, big issue. But at least having an observability, like, audit logs, like, what this particular agent did, that would give some insight into what has gone wrong. I think those are the things that people are working on these days. And also there's this case, like, for example, so we were building this towards the WSO2Con. We recently had the WSO2Con. We wanted to build this mobile app, which we want to bring some AI experience. So it had this agenda, and then we were doing the personalized agenda, like based on your profile, because it's a lot of talks, right? So we introduced various different features. So you get into these scenarios where in some cases it's okay because you can pre-configure these things, but you have to go and create a calendar invitation on that particular person's Gmail, Google Calendar, right? So that kind of interaction, how do you do these kind of interaction, and then when that happens, what can go wrong, right? Because you have to get it dynamically at that point. But if it's an our API which it is calling, that can be pre-configured. There's no issue, right? So all of these problems are there, and if AI agent does something wrong, then who should be blamed? Those are problems that we'll have to deal with, and I think there's more regulations are coming in. These problems will get resolved moving forward. Yeah.
Yes, so indeed, like you mentioned, it's still a developing field, and where we mentioned libraries also coming up, even regulations are in a phase where we are in need of improvement, and it's happening rapidly as well. But now, given all these circumstances, we, Sri Lanka as a country, where can we capitalize and leverage on maybe in our economy, or what's the area that we can capitalize in this AI race? Any areas that you all have already capitalized, or something that you all are hoping to do in the near future?
I can talk about one project that we are doing. So we have this organization called Sri Lanka Data Foundation, right? So, so the idea there is to basically gather all the data and build a knowledge graph. So you collect like data from different departments. For example, these are the ministries, these are the sub-organizations in those ministries, these are the people who work there. So we are building a Neo4j, we are actually using Neo4j. This is not a WSO2 project. We are building this knowledge graph where we try to connect different entities and organizations and people, and then bring AI into it. Then anyone can build applications on top of that. So we call that, it's a big knowledge graph, like a representation of the entire system. So that's one project that I'm working on. That's the thing that came to my mind.
Right, sir.
Yeah.
Mr. Johan, in terms of at least tourism in specific?
Yes, there are multiple things that we are also working on. But to add to Malik's point, I think WSO2, even earlier I know Sanjay was trying to get the data from different government organizations and kind of create a platform for the government such.
Yeah,
and that's the kind of
very hard.
Kind of place that we as a country if we can get there, that is what we need to do. But there's a lot of bureaucracy and stuff that we need to get through to get to that point. And so some of you might end up in government institutions and become the heads and so on. So I would ask those of you who do that, when you get there, try to make sure that you adopt whatever technologies, whatever that is there in the world, and try to use that without kind of being too shy on, is it the correct thing that I'm doing, whether I'm going to be called in front of the COPA or something. So that's one of the challenges that I see in the government if you try to do something. One of the biggest challenges is there's a fear of doing something innovative because they are scared that someone will go and sue them or put some legal suit against them. So there's a lot of resistance to getting things done. As a country, if we can do it and if we get it from the top, and like if we can gather all the data in the government, we can be kind of the first maybe Palantir in Sri Lanka, which is controlling all the data in Sri Lanka. But to get there, we need to do kind of change the mindset of people so that they are comfortable with adopting these technologies. And to that extent, we have a great role to play as academia, as people who graduate from here and then going into those places. And sometimes our problem is that our smartest people don't end up in those government jobs, right? So that is a challenge. And I saw once a talk that Barack Obama was giving where he was saying, if you want to change the world, so ask your sons and daughters to go into politics, not become engineer or doctor, because engineers and doctors are basically taking orders from politicians. So if you want to change something, you need to go there and kind of lead that change. So I'm not asking all of you to go to politics, but that's something that we need to think about, because if you want real change and kind of things to happen, you need to lead that change. So I know the University of Montreal is leading in multiple fronts, and I want all of you to become leaders so that you can lead that change in everywhere that you go.
Indeed, sir. So moving on, now you've heard from our panelists about various stuff, starting from the productivity, prompt organization, trust, change, adaptability. And I'm pretty sure most of you, or some of you might here, have certain questions that you all wanted to ask. And now it's the time to do so. If you all have any questions to address towards the panelists, you can address and clarify them right now. The mics will be sent your way, so you all can ask the mic. If you all can raise your hand, we could bring the mic closer to you all. Any sort of questions that you all have to be addressed by the panelists? And till we find a question right there from the audience, sir, most of you all mentioned about guardrails, how we should implement guardrails and what are the considerations. Now, when it comes to solutions in y'all, have you all implemented any sort of guardrails at the time being, or you all hope to do anything in the line of guardrails?
I think guardrails is a mandatory step when it comes to building AI solutions. So I think most of the companies have their governance frameworks. So at IFS, we have 4 pillars that we focus on when it comes to data, the product building, the process, as well as the legal side of things. So that is our governance framework. And when we talk about guardrails, I think we can go to the level of large language model prompts as well, right? So yes, I think that is some work is ongoing, and something that we have seen is when we bring in guardrails, it sometimes might hinder the innovation, or I mean, sometimes it can become, or it can bring in some biasness to what we are requesting from the LLMs as well. So it's a balance, and yes, it is an important part of building AI systems.
All right, thank you, Ms. Irani. Any questions we have from the audience members?
Yeah, hello. So this question is kind of like an ethical question. Recently, the very famous ones would be about Ghibli sort of images. But more than that, I have recently seen that the ChatGPT 4 Pro versions can create very human-like images as well. Within, I think, probably a span of 1 year, there might be a very high advanced human images that we can create that is sort of indistinguishable. So my question is, while the growth of AI is inevitable, what is the process or what can we do to mitigate these kind of issues? Or how do we, like, these are like serious issues that can be an issue for society and those sort of stuff. So how can we mitigate these sort of issues?
Any panelists who would like to take up that question?
Yeah, so that is a serious problem that is going to be there. So there are deep fakes and deep stuff and all of that is happening, and not in the future. I think today it's happening in the world as well. So what we can do is we need to, so as long as there are bad actors in the world, there are also good actors in the world. So you have hackers and ethical hackers. Like that, we need to create systems that can identify these fakes. So those systems will need to be smarter than the systems that are creating this fake. So there is a total new business there. So if someone, so this is like the start of the antivirus software business. So if someone wants to do that, go into that kind of business model, there is opportunity there where you can create software that will identify so fakes, plagiarism. So plagiarism software is already there, but it needs to be now upped in its quality so that it can identify all of this AI generated content as well. And that will be a striving business model. So, and that is one area that if you answer the question of where is the jobs going to be in the next, so it might be there. So there are new jobs coming up in those areas that if you can grab those opportunities, there's a huge potential to grow.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Any other? We have a question from the back.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for the insightful panel discussion. So I hope we all learned a lot from that. So my question is, so there have been arguments about AGI, artificial generated intelligence. So some say that AGI is possible, some say that AGI is not possible. So can I know your thoughts on that, whether AGI will come in the future or whether it won't come? Thank you.
We have a lot of ethical and logical questions coming our way. Any words from the panelists?
I personally don't answer that question, so I'll avoid that because it takes me down a more philosophical route. So stop.
Yeah, maybe I can give an answer. It's not my answer, rather, even Elon Musk or even Jeffrey Hinton, who is one of the godfather of AI and who won the Nobel Prize for Physics for his AI work. And then along with them, I mean, there are 1,000+ prominent researchers and scientists. What they have, wrote a letter a few years back on that, saying that AGI is very much possible. So they said, I mean, it can happen within the next 20 years of time, where we might have artificial intelligence, surpass human intelligence, and then potentially it can, take over the humanity as well. And then they also, in the letter they call it as it can be potentially, civilization destruction, and then ask the governments and then international bodies to act on it. So their argument is, in the similar way we have international agreements on bioweapons or chemical weapons, or maybe even use of atomic bombs. In the similar way, there should be a international agreement and also the government's legal things and all to control the AI and then to safeguard humanity from the potential threat from artificial AGI.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Any other panelists who would like to add on? Or?
I think it was well answered.
All right, thank you very much. Any other question from the audience members we have?
So hi, my question is, the field of AI is changing really fast. So the newer models and newer methods are coming day by day. So as top companies, how do you adjust to those changes? What methodologies you use to adopt these changes?
So if I take that, I think I did touch upon that a bit in my previous answer. I mean, there are so many, new models come in every day, so they look shiny, of course, but then we should be purposeful when we use the models. So at IFS as well, I mean, so it's not like we always try to go for the newest thing, but what suits the purpose. And the other thing is when we build systems, I think I did mention that is one best thing to do is to support that scalability in our architectures, in our designs as well, so that we can pick and choose based on the purpose or based on the use case that we are after.
All right, thank you, Mr. Rani.
So just add to that. So yes, I think I agree with you. I think we are pretty much inundated with all of these new things that are coming up, right? So every day there is some new model, but at the end of the day, as companies, we'll have to deliver and release products, right? And we'll have to, and we can't be, experimenting with all of these new things that are coming up. So the way it works at WSO2 is like we have product teams who are developing features using the models that are compliant and which we know that would work, and also the well-known patterns, all that, and then they do the architecture design and all that, and then they take their features to production. And then we have a separate team who is specifically looking into all of these new things that are coming. Not necessarily that we will use those technologies in production. We do experimentation, look at what kind of accuracy that we are getting, what are the benefits, evaluate pros and cons like we discussed. This is all about trade-offs, right? So there is the cost, performance. Performance has two aspects. One is the accuracy performance, the other one is the latency performance. So there's three actually: cost, latency, accuracy. So we'll have to evaluate all of these things. I mean, you can put a very accurate model, and if you don't get the response within the expected amount of time, then the user will not be happy. Then you can have churn. So there's like, and there are ways to deal with those things. You can handle it at the UI level, use caching. So it's a lot of work with all of these new things that are coming, and also dealing with the existing challenges that are there.
All right, thank you, Doctor. We can have one final question from the audience members, if there's any.
Yeah, so in Sri Lankan context, what are the areas or industries that we can start using AI, and how can we solve the issue of like not having proper data sets for implementing these things?
Any panelists who would like to take that on?
I'm not an expert on Sri Lankan context.
So Sri Lankan is, you can take it as a green field because there's a lot of opportunity here in Sri Lanka. So in CodeGen we are working with the government on certain AI initiatives, because our owner, Dr. Harshan Subasinghe, is part of the AI policy team, and so are some of the academics. So we basically working on pieces where we can use it for legislature, creating legislature, then healthcare, then travel and tourism, then the most important part is the economy. How do we use AI to create our economic policies? Because today, if you look at the way that most of the countries, not only Sri Lanka, they decide on taxation. Someone just decided, okay, I'm going to put VAT at 18%. And if you ask them, okay, what's it going to do to the economy in 3 years' time, no one really knows, right? So they just hope for the 1 year's income from that. So those kind of models, if you can create them and then present it to the proper channels, there's an opportunity where we can use those in government in Sri Lanka. And also then you have those huge amount of opportunities in other sectors like businesses who have not adopted the AI now. So sometimes it's just an interaction with the computer that is hard for people. And because of that, they are not using technology or adopting technology. So those companies can now use technology if you can get the interface that is easier for them to interact with. So there's an opportunity there as well. So if you are looking to open your own startup, there are so many things and also that AI antivirus thing. So recognizing deep fakes, that's something that you can do. Then this what WSOT is working on, but so there are so many things that you guys can also enhance with your knowledge.
Thank you very much, sir. Now that's it for the questions. Now, as a final sentence or advice that you would leave us audience with today, what would you say about AI in workplace?
Yeah, so I'll be brief. So clearly, AI has transformed the way we work, right? So we have clear evidence. We don't have to prove it now, but so it's a matter of knowing these technologies, what they can do and what they cannot do, because there are cases that AI is not the solution. Sometimes you can just do it programmatically. You want to get something done. You don't need an agent for that. So that's one key thing. I mean, when should we use AI and when we shouldn't? We should not overcomplicate problems by bringing AI in, and even in the case where AI is needed, you may not need a large language model. You may just need a simple model or rule-based approach, right? And the second thing I think I pointed out earlier also, fundamentals are the core. Computer science fundamentals, right? You have to learn about distributed systems. This is why I like doing final year projects where there is, not just an AI aspect. We have, system aspects or some other. So then you are not just limited to a data set, right? So that's one thing. And then we should try to innovate ourselves, because you can innovate faster. So you can come up with experiences that others can't think of, just by thinking a problem and how can I solve it, and that can be a idea to start a new company. Right. So that's my view on this.
Thank you, Dr. Malit.
Yeah.
Is there any?
Yes, my 2 cents would be become a problem solver, because with AI, lot of things will be automated, and we want things to be automated as well. We want to be productive. We want to do things faster. And what it will mean at the end of the day is we will be solving certain set of things, but then we are realizing, okay, we need to take it to the next level. So always think of in the workplaces, we usually do not repeat the same things. We would automate it, right? So that means if things are automated, right, if we want to reach a high effective level, then it will produce some different problems for the corporates and for out there in the industry as well, right? So I think in summary, with this fast-changing world, it is to become a problem solver. In order to become a problem solver, you need to understand how things are built and how things are evolving. In summary, that's a soft skill, but I think that is what will be needed in the coming years.
Thank you, Ms. Sarani.
So in the workplace, I think you should use AI as a tool, right? So now if you have, so one of the things that I've seen is now you are doing research on this large language models or kind of a deep neural network, and then you come into the workplace, you have a Eclipse IDE, and you don't use the shortcuts when you're writing your code. So that is what I've seen. So, and so if you forget that these tools are there to help you improve yourself, improve productivity, and get some more time for yourself, right? So if you use the tools, you get more time for yourself, and that is most like precious thing we have. So you use these things and act smart, use AI as a tool, and I think when you go into the workplace, don't forget to use that as much as possible.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Sumani?
Yeah. Maybe, anyway, AI is transformative technology. It's going to disrupt, everyone, each of us. So my advice would be, be the frontier in adapting AI. So always, there will be new tools coming out, new solutions coming out. So whether you are developing an AI system or not, maybe you can be in a non-IT sector, maybe a doctor or lawyer or some civil engineer or mechanical engineer. So whatever your profession is, be a frontier in adapting AI, because that is going to be the case for all industries. So that will help you a lot and then make you stand out in your professional career. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Sumani. There you heard it from the panelists, starting from whether AI will replace humans. I think the answer is simply no, because you understood so much problems that are pertaining with AI, be it software engineering solutions, be it evaluation, be it productivity, be it adaptability. There's so much more that we humans possess than AI. So that is it. And we thank all the panelists for giving your valuable insights and advice to all us. And like they mentioned, learn your fundamentals, learn your communication, adaptability, and be open to change, and we will thrive in this community. Thank you so much, panelists.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What a thoughtful and engaging discussion we have just witnessed. Our panelists explored AI's role in the workforce with such depth, from its exciting possibilities to its real challenges and ethical questions we must consider. The way ideas flowed between our speakers and resonated with all of you in the audience shows exactly what makes ADScAI special. These are the conversations that move our field forward.
Let us continue reflecting on these important perspectives as we move through the rest of the summit. We would now like to express our heartfelt gratitude to our panelists and special guests for their contribution today. First, we would like to invite Dr. Adisha Vijayasiri to present the token of appreciation.
We would like to welcome Dr. Malik Jayasinghe, Vice President of Research and AI at WSO2 on stage.
Next, we would like to invite Dr. Chaturanga Hettiarachchi to present the token of appreciation.
We would like to welcome Mr. Yohan Velikala, Vice President of Research at CodeGen International, on stage.
Thank you, sir. Up next, we would like to invite Dr. Sandareka Vikramanayaka to present the token of appreciation.
We would like to welcome Ms. Eronik Sirikanta, Director of Software Engineering at IFS, on stage. Thank you, Madam. Next, we would like to invite Dr. Nisansari Silva to present the token of appreciation.
We would like to welcome Dr. Sumani Rajadurai, Principal Machine Learning Engineer at Octave and Assistant Vice President at John Keels PLC, on stage.
I kindly request Dr. Nisansari Silva to remain on stage to present the next token of appreciation.
We would like to welcome a representative from Iron One AI to receive their token of appreciation.
Thank you, Dr. Nisansar. Next, we would like to invite Dr. Sunimal Ratnayaka to present the token of appreciation. Next, we would like to invite Dr. Buddhika Karunaratne to present the token of appreciation.
We would like to welcome a representative from Hey Milo AI to receive their token of appreciation.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for your incredible contributions and for being a part of this vibrant celebration of research and innovation. We have seen some truly inspiring work today across various domains of data science and AI. It's now time for one of the most awaited moments, the awards ceremony. Now we would like to invite Ms. Vishaka Nanayakara and Dr. Buddhika Karunaratne to distribute the awards.
Our first award recognizes clarity, creativity, and the ability to communicate complex ideas in a concise visual format. This goes to the researcher who created the most engaging and well-communicated poster presentation at the symposium. The winner of the Best Poster Presentation Award is H.U. Sikkubadu from the University of Kelaniya.
This next award celebrates emerging talent and the outstanding contributions of our future innovators. Among many promising entries, one undergraduate research stood out in terms of relevance, methodology, and insight. The Best Undergraduate Research Award goes to Nirushan Hariharan from Informatics Institute of Technology.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam. Up next, we would like to invite Dr. Tanuja Ambegoda, along with the Dean of the Faculty of Business, Professor G.D. Samarasinghe, on stage to present the next set of awards. Postgraduate research often pushes the boundaries of what we know, and this award recognizes depth, originality, and excellence in scholarly work at the postgraduate level. The Best Postgraduate Research Award goes to JADL Vikramasinghe from the University of Moratuwa.
Innovation matters when most it makes a real-world difference. This award honors research that has made a tangible impact in the industry, bridging the gap between theory and practice. We are proud to present the Best Industry Impact Award to Deekshana Samara Divahara, Narada Vijayaratna, H. Rizwan from Iron One Technologies.
Thank you, sirs. If Dr. Tanuja may remain on stage. Next, for the final award of the evening, we would like to invite the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, Dr. Professor Jagat Manatunga. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. This award celebrates research that stood out for its exceptional novelty, methodology, clarity of contribution, and significant potential to advance the field of data science and AI. The winner of the Best Research Award is H.U. Sikkubadu.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Let's give a huge round of applause to all our winners and indeed to every researcher who presented today. Your passion and hard work are what drive this field forward. Thank you once again, and we look forward to seeing your continued success.
As we come to the close of this remarkable day filled with innovation and inspiration, we encourage you to take a moment to scan the QR code displayed on the screen. We would greatly appreciate hearing your thoughts and insights regarding this event.
ADScAI 2025 is the groundbreaking milestone for the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, as it marks 40 years of excellence. This event has provided an invaluable platform for young and talented individuals to showcase their ideas and pursue their passions. To help us improve and deliver an even better experience in the future, we kindly ask you to share your feedback with us.
This announcement goes out to all the talented authors seated here today. You may collect your certificates and posters at the backstage area towards your left. Food and refreshments will be served at the main exit towards your right. To all our dear participants, food and refreshments will also be served at the main exit towards the right. To all our esteemed guests, you may proceed to the CODL RAB for food and refreshments.
Now, it's time to thank the people who made this summit a success. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Senior Lecturer of our department and Publication Chair of ADScAI, Dr. Buddhika Karunaratne, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening, once more. It's been a great evening, I believe, for everyone. Applied data science and AI, the summit and the symposium. I think it is coming to a great conclusion. That was a wonderful panel discussion with the engagement of esteemed professionals from the industry. We were fortunate to have them here today. So I've been given this difficult task of thanking everyone. I could be short, but I intend to be a little bit longer than that to mention at least a few names. If I didn't do that, I would not be doing justice. But this is an effort of many hands, but I would like to mention some of the key figures that we would like to thank. First of all, our esteemed guests, invited guests, Vice Chancellor, University of Moratuwa, Senior Professor Niranjan Guruvardhana, Deputy Vice Chancellor, University of Moratuwa, Professor D.P. Chandrasekhara, Professor Jagat Manutunga, Dean, Faculty of Engineering, Professor Dinesh Samarasinghe, Dean, Faculty of Business. Despite their busy schedules, thank you, sirs, for being here and supporting this event. I think this has been an insightful event for everyone, including you. Thank you once again for being here today with us to make this event a success. And of course, as we have mentioned many times, thank you for the panel for those wonderful insights. Dr. Malit Jayasinghe, Mr. Johan Valikala, Ms. Irani Srikanta, and Dr. Sumani Rajadurai. That was an inspirational, wonderful panel discussion. I think there was a lot to learn, even with the booming insights of data science and AI that is happening. It was wonderful to hear from the frontliners from the industry, even for the academia and also for the students, undergraduates, postgraduates. I think that was very insightful. And thank you all those panel members for sharing their insights. That was great to have. And special thank goes to Iron Man AI team, AI Labs team, and as well as Hey Milo AI team for conducting those wonderful workshop sessions this morning. I think that was very, very good and responsive. We had wonderful responses from the participants, as Dr. Tanujosu mentioned in his speech. That was very good. There was hands-on experiences, how to get into these technologies and how to use those tools and frameworks, which was very, very good. Thank you for all your efforts and contributions. And also, our heartfelt thanks goes to all the reviewers and judges. It was kind of a challenging task given a very short period of time, not just for the authors, but also for the reviewers. Authors had maybe a couple of weeks. The reviewers had maybe a couple of days to do the reviewing. So thank you for the reviewers for their wonderful efforts. And also the judges who did a really great job today. There was an interesting buzz at the poster session. It was nice to have. There was the discussions going on, there was evaluations going on, everybody running here and there, and that was wonderful. Thank you. That's what we expected, a wonderful engagement from the audience, the authors, as well as the participants. Thank you all who contributed. And I should give our special thanks to Dr. Tanuja Ambegoda, who is the program chair of this event, and head of the department, Computer Science and Engineering, Dr. Udayasankar Dayasivam, unfortunately who has not been able to attend this event today, and also he's the general chair of this symposium. And the acting head of department, Professor Indika Pereira, for his support to this event. Also, Professor Chandana Kamage and Mrs. Vishaka Nanakkara for your wonderful insights and all the help in many ways to make this event a successful one. And also, I should mention, and with gratitude to all the non-academic staff of Computer Science and Engineering, as well as the faculty for their wonderful contributions, as always, with events like this. And you have made made those contributions so that this event becomes a successful one. Your support, your continued support is greatly appreciated. And lastly, not last, but I have few things to mention, a few parties to mention. I take this opportunity to thank all the authors as well. As I mentioned a few seconds back, it was a challenging task. It could be that this was some work that you had already started, and you thought of submitting that into this symposium, this exciting symposium that was published, which did not give you much time, I believe. We have to admit that. But given the limited time, I think we had a wonderful response from the community. And I take this opportunity to thank everyone who submitted their work. And special thanks goes to all those authors of the work that got accepted and went on to the next stages. So with your contributions, this event has become a successful one. And also, I would like to thank all the participants of the workshops. As I said, with the wonderful engagement, those workshops, the poster sessions, as well as the panel discussion, it came to a great conclusion and became fruitful. Last but not least, if I didn't mention this, it would be a huge miss. I should mention the great efforts of the students of the Computer Science and Engineering Department, led by the organizing committee. I'm not going to mention all the names. I'm not going to mention any names, in fact, because if I mention few, that will be injustice. So thank you, students. That was a wonderful job. Keep up your spirits, keep up your good work, and continue organizing these events like these. I'm sure there will be many events like these in the future, so that you can contribute in organizing and participating. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I am not going to take much of your time, any more of your time. I think we had a wonderful session, the Applied Data Science and Artificial Intelligence Symposium and Summit, and it is coming to an end. But tune in for updates, future extensions that will happen, as mentioned by Dr. Tanja as well. So we hope to continue what we started, this being the first real attempt in organizing this kind of an event by the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. The prompt being the 40th anniversary of the department falling in this year. So many events will happen in line with that. This is one of those. And we are concluding that today. And thank you once again for all your contributions in many levels, making this event a successful one. Have a great evening.
Thank you, sir. Today has been about igniting new ideas, forging meaningful connections, and inspiring bold action.
As we move forward, let's continue to push boundaries, collaborate with purpose, and lead with innovation, shaping the future of data science and AI together. Until next time, I'm Tilakshan.
And I am Neela, wishing you all a wonderful evening ahead.